with more Teen Wolf. This is episode 6 of season 1. Very excited to see what's going to happen next. I think with this episode, once this is done, we're going to be halfway through the first season. I think that's correct. So yeah, I'm very intrigued to see where, things are going to go next and what twists and turns kind of affect everyone. We got a lot of interesting kind of character revelations, I think, and character introspectives in the last episode. I think that was like the main feature of that one, as opposed to like the overarching plot, like moving forward at a huge pace. So, is that going to be the case again for this one? Because we're in like the middle of the season, they might let the plot breathe a bit more before things really kick off. Or is it really going to kick off in this one? Because it's going to be like the halfway point. Is there going to be another kind of big game-changing thing? I don't know. What I do know is that I'm really enjoying the show thus far. I really like all the characters. I really like the mysteries and the plot and where that's kind of headed. So yeah, I'm just really excited to find out, what the next piece of this puzzle is going to be, what the next little chapter of the story is. So yeah, without further ado, let's just dive into the episode. Oh boy. Kind of like sensory overload for it. This is why my phone is always on silent. Oh!
You're dead. This is why I caught you. You want me to teach you? Get rid of her.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen.
I can stay away from her.
God.
Just a second.
You live there now.
Hey, what's up? Nothing, just...
Well, that's a question for Scott.
Mysterious animal attacks, just like a certain town called Beacon Hills. It looks like a wolf.
In a way, I would say it looks like an otter, but... Oh boy. Twice in 10 minutes this has happened to you, sir. Is that a heart? Oh, no. Oh, it's the spiral thing. Are we going to find out what that is? He's so dramatic.
Seriously, you need to stop doing that. Doesn't mean anything. You buried your sister under a spiral. What does it mean? You don't want to know.
Well, I do. Please.
What if I told you that I'm trying to figure this whole thing out and that I went to Derek for help? If I was talking to you, I'd say that you're an idiot for trusting him. But obviously, I'm not talking to you. Well, that gets me to the end of the school day, then. To do what? To teach you myself.
This will go well.
It is believed that Lebet was finally trapped and killed by a renowned hunter who claimed his wife and 4 children were the first to fall prey to the creature.
Ah.
His name was Argent.
The thing you saw, perhaps?
Lydia?
It looks like a big wolf. See you in history.
See you in chemistry.
Your crop has infiltrated my life, so now I have to do something about it. Plus, I'm definitely...
That's what friends are for.
Yeah, I'll be your Yoda. Yeah, you be my Yoda. Your Yoda, I will be. I said it backwards. Yeah. I definitely still hate you. Maybe learning to control it is tied to learning to control your heart rate. Like the Incredible Hulk. Kind of like the Incredible Hulk. Yeah. Like the Incredible Hulk. Would you shut up and put the strap on?
How many other green characters are going to get referenced in this week's episode? Tune in to find out. This is probably good for Styles as well, to get some of this out. This might be why this is a bad idea. Oh wow, he looks tired as fuck.
I can't be around Alice. Just because she makes you happy? Because she makes me weak.
Hawks.
It's like something's rotting or dying.
Uh-oh. Oh, you're not okay. Yeah, that's not ideal. Oh, what? Oh, what the fuck was that? Giving him claws for thought.
I realized that I had been a jerk to you. And especially Scott. And I wanted to say that I'm sorry. Do you know what it's like to be the best player on the team? To be the star. Some kid just comes along and then everyone starts looking at him instead of you. Do you know what that feels like?
I really don't.
I don't.
Bottom of the barrel. That was me.
And I want you guys to like me.
He's trying to keep his friends close
I
or
want
something.
to know you guys better. So, what are you reading? Let's go. Sit. Last night's reading?
How about the reading of the Gettysburg Address?
What?
That's sarcasm. You familiar with the term sarcasm, McCall?
Very.
Just take the reading.
He was so proud.
How about you summarize anything you've ever read in your entire life? No? A blog? Unless that's too much reading.
Well.
All right. Everybody else, settle down.
Oh, she's actually kind of helping.
She's kind of like an anchor. I mean, because I love her. Exactly. Did I just say that?
Oh.
Yes, you just said that. I love her.
So we need to get Derek on a dating app is essentially what we're saying.
Yeah. Keep holding it right there.
Oh. Framing him. Quite the idea.
Stop it right now!
What do you idiots think you're doing?
Oh, that was nearly the nice number.
Look, if you know something, just give me a sign. Is it one of us? Someone else making it out of the fire? Say something!
Let him go.
Oh boy.
You think after 6 years of this, yelling at him is going to get a response?
Oh. Oh. Okay.
You knew I would heal? Yep. So, you did that to help me learn? Yep. But partially to punish me? Yeah. Well, that one's obvious. I can't have you being angry with me. I'm not angry anymore.
Alright, both of you. Out of here.
Thank you.
Okay.
Want to know about the animal you found with the spiral on its side?
Excuse me?
Oh.
What animal?
3 months ago. The deer. You remember this? The sound of your heartbeat rising.
Excuse me?
It's the sound of you lying.
I knew he knew more. Oh dear, this escalated quickly, didn't it?
Scott! Get out of here!
Ooh.
Stop! You want to know what the spiral means, Scott? It's our sign for a vendetta, for revenge. It means he won't stop killing until he's satisfied.
You think he's the alpha?
We're about to find out.
Oh. At least I know what the spiral's about. Oh.
Hit him
Ooh.
again. And then you'll see me get angry.
Dramatic.
Meet me at the school. In the parking lot.
I like the dynamic shift that he's calling the shots now.
This is a terrible idea. Yeah, I know.
We're still gonna do it?
Can you think of something better?
Well, personally, I'm a fan of ignoring a problem until eventually it just goes away.
Just make sure you
Same.
get inside. You said that a wolf howls to signal his position to the rest of the pack, right?
Right, but if you bring him here, does that make you part of his pack?
I hope not.
He's gotta be kidding. Be a werewolf, not a teen wolf. Be a werewolf.
Oh.
Sorry, I didn't know it'd be that loud.
It was loud. And it was awesome.
Shut up.
Don't be such a sour wolf.
Oh.
I didn't do anything.
Oh dear. Oh fuck. No. Okay. Shit. That was quite the ending. I really enjoyed this episode yet again. You know, I think this was a very focused one, which I did enjoy, and it also ended off with like an oh shit. You know, it could have easily just had a to be continued at the end there. You know, because damn. But yeah, I really enjoyed everything about this one. I think this might be one of my favourites thus far, actually. You know, we've got some nice kind of character stuff with Scott and Styles' friendship in particular. I think it's got a lot. And some like personal revelations, you know, Scott kind of realising that he's in love with Alison properly. And some potential tension between those two if he has to continue to ignore her, but also probably not now, given his realisation. A little bit with Jackson as well as like a holdover from what they set up in the last episode. And, you know, we learnt a few little new pieces of information, like what that spirally symbol was all about. I can't remember if that's the same thing that Derek has like tattooed on his back, or if that's a different symbol altogether. I think that was a spiral, so maybe, you know, he was like tortured or captured or marked for, you know, some reason at some point. I'll have to try and remember what that was. And then yeah, that whole ending, like, geez. I didn't know where it was going, like what their plan was actually going to be, should the Alpha turn up and stuff, and the fact that they didn't have a plan probably wasn't their finest idea. But then, yeah, that last like 30 seconds was quite a lot. So, yeah, we'll talk about the ending when we get to like the individual characters that are involved, I guess. I don't want to just make it all about the ending, because we did have, you know, 40 minutes of episode before that last like 30 seconds. But where do we even begin, really? I did like the kind of main crux of the episode of Scott trying to learn to control, you know, what's going on with his whole deal, and trying to control, you know, his anger and transforming and everything, and how it's related to anger. But I think, you know, that might be a method that works for Derek. But I like that there seems to be like this option, like you can control this, you know, wolfism, if that's a thing, in different ways. I think that makes it a lot more layered and complex and interesting, is that every maybe werewolf does have actually a more unique individual way that they can control themselves a bit more. You know, and it's very much tied to like the personality as a person rather than just, you know, a wolf. You have like the standard wolfy things, you know, like a full moon, claws, that whole kind of deal. But I like that there could be like individualisms to it as well, because I think if it's not uniform like that, it makes more sense, you know, why there would be like such a thing as like an alpha, or like a proper leader of the pack, and like a hierarchy to things, is because maybe, you know, how people individually control themselves and transformations and stuff, some people just aren't as good at it, or haven't found the method that suits them properly compared to someone like an alpha and like more worthy or whatever. I don't know how that structure works yet, because they haven't really delved into that. because you know we don't really have a pack of wolves to be focusing on with the show, and maybe that's something that will be built up over time as we meet more inevitable werewolves that will pop up, I imagine. Can't imagine it just being the couple that we have now. But I really like that, and that, you know, maybe depending on your age or just your personality type, anything like that, different things that are going to like soothe you better. So I like that, you know, Scott has Alison and that helps him out. Whereas from Derek's experience and what maybe works for him, you know, he's like, no, that's a completely wrong thing to do, but, you know, it's not wrong for Scott. So to Scott bounce off Derek's method of trying to teach him things by just surprising him, like at the start, to see that, you know, he's bouncing off that is like a nice hint that that's not what's going to work for him. And Stiles, who knows Scott infinitely better than Derek knows him, you know, is the one who kind of finds out what works best for Scott. I think that makes a lot of sense, and I really liked that, because alongside that, you know, it was kind of examining, I guess, a low point in Scott and Stiles' relationship, because Stiles quite rightly was a bit pissed at Scott, I guess, for getting involved with his dad getting hurt, although I do feel like, you know, Stiles' dad did step into a car that was kind of moving a bit. I wouldn't entirely blame Scott, but I understand why he would be a bit pissed at that. So Stiles kind of being like, well, if Derek's getting involved in this, no, I'm going to do it better than Derek. You know, already there's a clear kind of, I wouldn't even say like an antagonistic relationship between Stiles and Derek, because it's not like I think they absolutely hate each other and like mortal enemies. I think there's kind of a mutual dislike right now, which maybe will go away as the show progresses. But, you know, they just kind of have that kind of rivalry, I guess. And, you know, I think Stiles wants to be, like, you know, the foremost expert on how to deal with this in terms of Scott. And maybe he wouldn't want to lose his best friend to Derek if they have to spend more time together and everything. So I think he's threatened in that sense. But I like that he took it on board, like, let's try things my way. And he actually, you know, got some good results because of how well he knows Scott. And in turn, you know, trying that out, and Stiles framing him for keying that guy's car and getting him beat up and everything. You know, it was not only a bit of therapy for him, he's like, oh good, you know, Scott got a bit of punishment for what happened to my dad. It was also a means of them kind of talking things out in detention and patching things up. Stiles moving past his anger, and controlling it in his own way, just as Scott's trying to control his anger. So I like that Stiles also was trying to navigate, you know, getting over his anger and trying to control that in this one, in a very different way, of course. But you know, I like that kind of link between them because they're best friends, and they kind of came back to that conclusion when they kind of made amends. So I really enjoyed that. Intrigued by that lingering shot of the teacher who gave them detention, watching them go. At first, I was like, maybe he's just being patient and wanting to work things out, and then just letting them go because I don't know, he likes seeing them be friends or whatever. But, you know, he got a bit of focus in the last episode, and that lingering shot was a bit weird. Maybe he just thought, what the hell are those two talking about? Or maybe there's more to it. Because there's a bit more to it with the vet in the last episode. I still didn't know that guy's name. Apologies. The vet. And then in this one, we kind of saw... We still didn't get answers, but we know there's more to it. He knows more than he's letting on as well with the whole deer situation. Oh dear, indeed. But yeah, I liked everything with Scott trying to, like, calm himself down, and you know, how Stiles kind of realised that Alison was actually helping him out with that, and it allows those two to kind of be together with a bit less drama, because obviously alongside that we have her family history that will surely be revealed at some point, with her dad being a hunter and Kate and everything. So I really liked everything with that. It was a cool kind of spotlight on Scott and Stiles' friendship, which I'm really, really enjoying. And, you know, again, like we've kind of talked about, it revealed a lot about the characters that I very much enjoyed. And then on the Alison side of things, I like that we kind of had, as like a cover-up for Scott being there, you know, she had to talk about her history project, but then that tied in nicely to, like, Kate giving Alison that necklace thing in the last episode, and still trying to push her towards that family history with this project that she had to kind of talk about. And yeah, Alison's slowly but surely kind of getting pieces of her family history, and we're kind of seeing where it began with, like, this creature and the first hunter in the Argent family, and clearly I guess that gets passed on and on. throughout the generations, and that's how, you know, Kate and I want to say Chris is her dad's name. Let's say yes. How they kind of got involved in it and everything as well, and you know, seemingly maybe trained Alison for it by getting her interested in, you know, gymnastics, and I think she does archery or something as well. So yeah, I like that she's kind of getting closer to that truth as well, and in turn from her reading up on that, Lydia, I think they're kind of segueing her into getting involved in this, because she very much saw the similarities in that picture to what she saw when, you know, the whole incident at the video store happened in the last episode. So I think that's eventually going to pique her interest. I was hoping they'd explore that side of things with her a bit more, but I don't think we saw her again after that scene in the episode. So, you know, I think Lydia as a character is definitely more of a slow burn than the other ones, because Jackson got a bit to do in this episode as well. But, you know, I'm sure her time will come. Because, you know, the whole point of the character really, isn't it, is that people are underestimating her, and, you know, she doesn't reveal her true self very much, which is a nice, interesting, you know, comparison and parallel to being a werewolf, but obviously a very different thing with Lydia. You know, trying to hide who you really are and hide that true kind of part of you. So the fact that we're not seeing as much of, you know, the Lydia that we kind of know is in there thus far is a cool reflection of that in like her screen time and stuff, you know. So it's kind of a slow burn in that sense, as she is as a character, which I really like. But I am hoping we get a lot more of her soon, because she does intrigue me. So yeah, liked how that kind of tied into some potential setup for Lydia getting properly involved in things as well. And then we got a bit with Derek talking. I don't know what Derek's relative's name is. The one in the wheelchair with the burns. You know, he's obviously going to get involved in things as well, because we kind of saw his finger like moving at the end there. So he knows something about the Alpha, or something about a mystery hail, or whatever's going on with that. So, you know, we're setting up some answers there, which is probably why Derek's obviously not dead. I mean, I would assume maybe he is dead and they revive him or something, I don't know, but I imagine he's not quite dead yet, so he will heal. I know they kind of did a shot of him with his eyes open, like, I'm dead, but, you know, they can just say he was sleeping with his eyes open. I don't know, maybe it's a wolf trick. But I'm pretty sure that's not the end of Derek. You know, we've still got his whole family history to kind of get revealed, and it would be weird to reveal that with Derek not around to find any of that out. So I definitely don't think he's dead and gone, but it might just be another way of getting him out of the action for a bit. So, you know, the situation where we end up with you know, Scott and Styles trapped in the school with the Alpha at their door, quite literally. You know, it makes the stakes a bit higher, I guess, that they don't have Derek around currently to help them out, because he's out of commission for a bit. So I am intrigued to see where that will lead, but you know, I did like all of that, and seeing some interactions there. You know, the promise of, you know, we're getting some answers about the Hale stuff as well. That's still very much going on, even if the focus was more so on like the Alpha in this one. But maybe the Alpha is a Hale. They're still setting up, or like trying to hint that it's the vet guy. You know, with that scene of him knowing more than he's letting on, which I did kind of assume in the last one anyway. I like that we got answers about what the spirally thing is, so we are getting something concrete answers as well. And yeah, you know, Derek kind of thought it was the vet guy, and then, you know, just as the Alpha turns up and injures Derek, somehow the vet had gone away, and Derek with his heightened senses didn't notice, which is weird. So maybe something happened, or maybe just for plot reasons he didn't notice the vet escape. But obviously setting it up like, well, he's gone and now the Alpha's here, maybe it's the vet, which, you know, in TV show terms means it's probably not the vet. It's going to be someone else entirely. But, you know, they kind of have to do this thing, I guess, of blaming it on someone else when it's actually going to be this person. But I like, again, that he's kind of getting involved in the story a bit, and maybe he knows more than he's letting on. Lots of shady characters going on, so I'm intrigued to learn more of his side of things as well, and wherever he ran off to. Hard for Scott to kind of explain that away, but maybe he won't need to, because the vet probably knows some shit. So there's that. So yeah, whole host of good stuff going on with that. And Jackson, clearly not okay with, I guess, his wounds getting worse and worse. I mean, Derek did tell him to get it checked out. So yeah, intrigued by that and what that's causing him to do. I don't know if he's like changing into a wolf somehow. Does that count as a bite? I don't know. I mean, it happened a lot quicker when Scott got bit, transformed. But so maybe it's not like a full-on transformation. Maybe something weird's going on there, or maybe he's just dying. I don't know. Scott smelt death on him, so maybe. And maybe it gave him this personality transplant of him trying to be nice to Alicent. But it seemed like, again, that was an ulterior motive. Maybe keep your friends close but your enemies closer kind of deal. Because, you know, he has his suspicions about Scott. He saw him and Styles kind of training earlier as well. So I guess that he's just trying to get more intel. But it does seem, you know, they're pulling the pieces for Alicent, getting a bit closer to the truth with this one. Same with Jackson, because he's trying to get in on that information as well. And Lydia kind of recognising the picture, stuff like that. So it feels like we're getting close. I'm at the halfway point of this first season. You know, I feel like, you know, the chess pieces are moving and the game's really going to start. So yeah, I'm very, very intrigued to see where all this goes. But this was a really strong episode. Definitely one of my favourites so far, I think. You know, very well kind of paced and everything. Put some characters in very interesting positions. Revealed a few things. I really like what they kind of exploring with all of them thus far. And yeah, I'm just really excited to see how that goes off next. I'm annoyed, actively annoyed, that I can't watch the next one right now. Because it's currently 11:59 at night, so it's about to turn midnight. So it's a bit too late for me to watch the next one, as much as I want to, because I really want to see what happens next, and it's annoying that I can't. But I guess that's the sign of a damn good ending and a really good episode, that I'm so desperate to see what happens next. So yeah, really enjoyed this one. Can't wait to see what is going to happen next as we delve into the second half of this first season. And yeah, I guess that's going to be the privilege of future Liam to witness, but poor old past Liam right now still doesn't know. Either way, really good episode. Looking forward to seeing where it goes next. And until my next reaction, thanks for watching.